In today's world, conflicts and wars are not only fought on the battlefield, but also increasingly on social media. During crises, tech companies play a significant role in shaping narratives, public opinion, and to some extent, the outcome of wars. But in the process, are these companies disproportionately favoring one over the other? Let's take a look. During Russia's special military operation in Ukraine, Meta imposed restrictions on Russian state media and removed several fake accounts to combat the spread of propaganda and misinformation. But the tech giant temporarily allowed its users in Ukraine to call for violence against Russian armed forces in Ukraine. Platforms like Facebook and Instagram played a major role in aiding Kiev with its public diplomacy efforts, which in turn gained them praise from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. And here's how these companies have responded to Israel's ongoing war on Palestine's Gaza. Meta has been criticized for silencing and shadow banning pro-Palestinian voices for years. However, it has ramped up its censorship amid Israel's onslaught, removing at least 1,050 pro-Palestinian posts from Instagram and Facebook between October and November 2023, with some of the removed content including documentation of Palestinian injuries and deaths, which some speculate could be evidence of Israeli war crimes. Rights groups criticize Meta for misapplying its policies on hate speech, violence, and graphic content. During the early days of the Russia-Ukraine war, Meta also enabled a feature that helped Ukrainians stay informed, locate their family members, and access emergency care. However, no such service has been provided to Palestinians in Gaza, reeling under Israel's relentless bombing. When Russia launched its war on Ukraine, SpaceX founder Elon Musk activated Starlink's satellite broadband service to ensure Ukrainians remained online amidst damaged internet infrastructure. In the early days of Israel's war on Gaza, power, communications, and internet services were completely cut off in the besieged enclave amid the Israeli military's heavy bombing of feeder lines, towers, and networks, which cut the blockaded territory off and plunged it into darkness. Disconnected from the world, Palestinians called on Musk to provide a Starlink internet services to the inhabitants of Gaza, but Musk backed out of an initial pledge to offer Starlink to international humanitarian agencies in the enclave, leaving Gaza's residents scrambling without a signal. Since October 7, Gaza has experienced communication cutoffs at least 8 times. While Israel has generally been restoring the services after a number of days, communication remains patchy. Similarly, Amazon Web Services helped Ukraine's government maintain continuity and provide critical services to citizens. And Microsoft provided critical cybersecurity protection while offering data and support to international organizations, aiding Ukraine and addressing war crimes against civilians. But for Gaza, Israel's tech sector has been around since the 1970s, but it gained a reputation as the world's second largest tech center outside of Silicon Valley in the 1990s, when thousands of companies launched their startups in the country. Today, many of them have high financial stakes in Israel, involving millions of dollars of investments and thousands of employees, 10% of which have been drafted to fight for the Israeli military in its ongoing war on Gaza. Several top tech executives have made public statements in support of Israel, but similar statements acknowledging the plight of Palestinians have been visibly absent. Since February 24, 2022, tech companies have provided millions of dollars in aid to Kiev. Among the private donors, Microsoft tops the list, having offered Ukrainians at least $540 million in free sport and technical services. Ukrainians were also promised more than $105 million in support from Amazon, and received $45 million in grants from Google.org. However, when it comes to Gaza, Microsoft has failed to offer any donations to Palestinians, instead pledging to match employee donations to Israeli organizations and offering its nearly 3,000 Israeli employees a $3,000 stipend each for unexpected expenses because of the situation. Amazon has also remained mum over the killings of thousands of Palestinians, including women and children, amid Israel's relentless attacks on Gaza, but was quick to condemn the Hamas attacks against Israel, calling them shocking and painful to watch. Meanwhile, Google announced $8 million in grants to nonprofit organizations providing relief to civilians affected in Israel and Gaza, in addition to Google.org's $3 million pledge to aid organizations working for people in Gaza. As Palestinians and people around the world continue to use technology to spread information about the devastation in Gaza and to mobilize support for the Palestinian cause, are tech companies aiding and abetting Israel's onslaught on Gaza by staying silent?